Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you. Okay, so let's kickstart the session formally, and let me introduce you to our first speaker. Well, generative AI and LLMs are changing at breakneck speed. How does agile framework, project management tools strike a balance while supporting their teams to be innovative yet efficient? Our first speaker of the day is someone who is an IIM-A alumni. We were just talking about it. Has been in the industry for more than 17 years, and at present is the co-founder of Navirego. Did I pronounce that right? Navirego, I'm sorry. Navirego. It's a regtech. It's an ESG startup. It tries to help their consumers in safety-critical industries with regulation and compliance and analytics. Please join me to welcome Vivek Narain. Of course.
Good morning. As a startup founder, I never miss the opportunity to sell. So, pehle brand ka slide. I will also walk through and try and sell. So that's the life of a startup founder. As a startup founder, you hardly get to sleep. So sorry for my heavy voice, but I've hardly slept 5 hours per day this week. My name is Vivek. Almost 2 decades of software IT experience. I'm basically a product guy. So pretty much like you, started my journey as an engineer, can code, did Scrum Master, but found my passion in product owner and product management roles. And worked across multiple corporates, have run P&Ls of sizes of $5 to $7 million, have 4 US patents in this space. इतना सब कुछ बता रहा हूँ कि थोड़ा सुन लेना. But jokes apart. And was doing that for 14 years. And I was itching कि कुछ करना है अपना. I wanted to do something of my own, and I was really not confident. Like many of you in the room, I was really not confident. So what I did was I actually stopped working for a corporate, and I joined a startup. And I was lucky to get myself inside a Silicon Valley startup. Used to travel very frequently, like travel to the US, know that market very well, like 30 times. And I learned that my perspective changed, and that's how I got the motivation and the strength to do my own startup. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about what's happening in the industry. Okay? And I meet a lot of Scrum Masters, a lot of PMOs, PMs, and this is like a common theme. What I hear is कि बहुत roles rationalize हो रहा है. So a lot of Scrum Masters are being asked to go to product management or take very traditional PM roles or take very traditional delivery roles. And actually we should do a quick dipstick survey here. How many project managers, Scrum Masters in the room? Can you raise your hands? Okay, pretty much. How many product people in the room, like some business commercials जो देखते हैं? Fantastic, good audience. So very heavy on project management. Okay, one more quick dipstick survey. I'm assuming you're working in a corporate or maybe a medium size, less than $50 million type company. Has your leadership asked you to slightly pivot or go to a traditional project management or take delivery roles? If you are a project scrum master. Oh wow, fantastic. ठीक है, so मेरी बात सुनना कि क्यों हो रहा है ये. At least this is my take on it and why it's happening. Please feel free to ask questions whenever you want. Okay, how many of us use ChatGPT or generative AI? सब कर रहे हैं. How many of you are paying for it? अच्छा, $20 दे रहे हो, बहुत पैसा है यार आप लोगों के पास. Okay, interesting. Huh? Sorry? Oh wow, so you're one of those people who have enterprise accounts?
So basically my organization, they have adopted AI for search. So I am from CUM and they want the search to be enabled with AI.
Fantastic. Okay, that's great. So sorry for a very busy slide, but what I'm trying to say is generative AI LLMs घुस गया है. Whether we like it or not, whether we don't know, it has happened in your organization. If you have access to your CIO, CEO, some smart BCG consultant, some smart BCG consultant like Puneet Bhai here, Okay, कोई PMG का है कोई? How many consultants in the room? Well, like who come from the big four? ठीक है, तो इनकी दया से COO को C-level सूट को बता दिया गया कि एक कुछ नया आया है जनरेटिव AI, और ये ना कमाल का बम है, ये मतलब अब आपको इंसान ही नहीं चाहिए, सब कुछ AI कर देगा, ठीक है? Somebody has gone and sold that story, ठीक है? And you guys are laughing, but these are like very interesting stats I'll show you. But this is happening, whether you like it or not, whether you are aware of it or not, it is happening in your corporate. If you are a company which is in the range of $750 million and up, you are definitely you're going to do it. And I'll tell you why. I have stats to prove it. So whether it is contact centers like customer support, risk and compliance where Navirego plays, or just coding, LLMs and generative AI have come. This is a report out from a joint study by BCG and OpenAI. And what we are seeing in the market is the biggest impact is happening on software development. So, regtech to सबसे last में आ रहा है, but the adoption of LLMs and Gen AI is biggest in your field. So your team, your coding, whether you're using a GitHub Copilot or whether you're using ChatGPT for enterprise, the highest adoption has been in code generation and tools like that. So these are some of the tools like MamPoint. I actually was hoping for more hands to go up, but ChatGPT Enterprise is one of the highest adoptions which we are seeing, and GitHub Copilot. But pay attention here. So I'm a coder myself, so I can code in C, a little bit of JavaScript. I am still of the opinion that AI can do just pair programming. Okay, right now with the available tech, it can't really go and code or architect solutions. But I'm quite sure in 3-4 years' time, this is going to change radically. So some of these consultants have gone into the C-suite and they have convinced the C-suite that there is very high chances of reducing the bottom line, which means that a lot of the coding work will be done by computers. Now that's a big challenge for project management. भाई अगर इंसान ही नहीं कोड करेगा, इंसान ही स्टैंड अप नहीं अटेंड करेगा, तो मतलब how do we run project management practices? Though I want to really give you a awakening call, we think this is not possible. The way Mr. Sam Altman is going at the speed which he is going, and the $10 billion he's managed to get from the Saudis, this is going to be a reality in the next 2 years. So, मैं डरा नहीं रहा हूँ, but the ground is slipping between our feet. That is my take. Okay, I'm like I have to take a shot because I'm in a startup. So, this is going to happen very, very soon in the industry, and this is going to impact software development lifecycle, right from design. So, I'm going to quickly go to the next slide. So, typically when you start a project, let's say it's a web-based UI, how much time are you spending on prototypes, designer के साथ back and forth, roughly? Any numbers anybody wants to give me? 1 month, 2 months? At least protos, अगर Figma में बना रहे तो 1-2 months तो लगता है. So now Figma is coming up with a generative AI plugin where you put in the prompt, और सुनो, you give it a sample website, ठीक है, you give it a product link, and it is able to ingest that information and make wireframes on a click of a button. So there is a huge cycle time reduction which is being expected from generative AI. And this is going to happen in our field the first because we are such a large volume IT. So a lot of innovation will happen in the product life cycle using tools. So just took the example of, apologies, for wireframing. We are seeing tools coming up for documentation. You remember all the boring work, technical writers wala kaam, all of that is getting automated. And the best part is code reviews. So मुझे लगा था कि code reviews तो बच जाएगा. At least एक architect तो चाहिए होगा. Now architect is also shaking कि code review best practices, since it is coded in a document, AI can do that. So coming back here, the software development life cycle is going to change drastically. And I don't have all the solutions, but I wanted to discuss this with you because we are people who manage this process. Project managers, product owners. So this is going to continuously shift. But now coming to the most important question is, why are we seeing people asking us to change our roles and go to very traditional roles like lead and delivery? It is because of money. For this audience, I expect you to understand some numbers. When you guys did a hand raise, you are a project manager, scrum master. You are not a developer. The key thing which distinguishes us from a developer is you need to understand business. And what is happening is there is a $600 billion bubble this year in AI across industries. And let me why. And this is a big number. $600 billion is a big, big number. And I'm just talking purely about IT and generative AI. Let's do a quick check. In 2023, which stock globally appreciated the most? सर जोर से बोलो थोड़ा सा. Nvidia. ठीक है. So they have surpassed to be the most valuable company in this world. ठीक है, 1.5 साल के अंदर, 18 months के अंदर. So column number 1 is the revenue of Nvidia. Revenue मतलब top line. कितना उन्होंने सामान बेचा, कितना उन्होंने पैसा लेके आए. So $50 billion Q4 estimate, Q4 2024 estimate is $150 billion. Let me explain कि Nvidia करता है क्या. Nvidia GPUs बेचता है, right? So whenever you are running an LLM and an AI, you need a GPU. I hope everybody understands what is a GPU. It's basically a machine and it runs, very centralized services. Now, GPUs चलाने के लिए you need data centers, ठीक है? And you need a facility to operate it, ठीक है? So, Nvidia ने $50 billion कमाए मान लीजिए 2023 में हम लोग जैसी कंपनीज से, ठीक है? I'm sorry, from companies like Google, Microsoft. So row number 2 and 3 is basically the cost for Microsoft, Google, and other cloud providers to give LLM services. Okay? And then let's say कि implied data center AI spend is again Microsoft, Google's, Amazon's cost to run these services. And then lastly, it's people like me for the application who are building on top, or like people like you and me who are building on top of LLMs. So मान के चलो कि traditional software product में 70-80% margin होता है, ठीक है? Again, margin is cost, revenue. When you subtract cost from revenue, it's what you get margin. Not the profit, I'm just talking about the margin. So let's assume that software companies like me work on a 50% margin. So $200 billion is the payback required from people like me and you to support what Nvidia is doing. Take some time, these numbers are slightly complicated, but what I'm trying to tell you is your C-level suite has already made this investment. So there are people who, Nvidia इतना GPU बना क्यों रहा है? Okay, let's do one more dipstick survey. How many of you are doing a Gen AI prototype or an LLM prototype? ठीक है, oh, fantastic, very low actually. Okay, so what your C-suite has gone and done is they have bought GPU. ठीक है, right now, if you invest in GPU, you will get more returns than investing in gold. ठीक है, I know like हरियाणा people gold खरीद लिया बेटी की शादी के लिए या land तो खरीदते नहीं, land कब्जा करते हैं यहाँ पे, वो बात अलग है. But gold हम खरीदते ना, मैं बोला GPU खरीदो आप. You will get more return, and I seriously mean it. There are stats which are showing that you will get more money if you buy GPUs. So your C-level suite has made that investment. उन्होंने वो GPUs block कर लिए हैं, and they want now people like us to do prototypes, LLMs. So there's a $600 billion hole, and your C-suite is expecting this return because this investment has already been made. ये जो last वाला number है, these are not actual numbers. So Nvidia ने खर्चा कर दिया, Microsoft, Google, AWS ने खर्चा कर दिया. So now the pressure is coming on us, people like me and you, to pay back. कितना पैसा डाल दिया, लेके आओ. And that's why we see in the market such cost rationalization on anything which is overhead. Whether it is marketing budget spends, whether it is PMO roles, coach roles. Everybody is asking, like somebody, Puneet, you were saying कि ROI कहाँ है? पैसा दिखाओ. And that is coming from this $600 billion hole क्योंकि उन्होंने पैसा लगा दिया, किसी BCG कंसल्टेंट ने बेच दिया. But now people are saying कि भाई पैसे तो लाओ, इतना खर्चा हो गया. I'm going to take a small pause. Any question? Is this making sense? Do you get a rough idea why is your leadership, behaving this way? So this is the money problem. Now let me come to the project management problem. By the way, forget about the right-hand side chart. The left-hand side chart is the trial runs of LLMs. So you can see a massive adoption. So that number is in billions actually. There were like billion runs. When I say a run, whenever you run an LLM task on a GPU, that's like one run. So there were more than billion runs made just in the year 2022, which shows the wide adoption. But this is now becoming a problem. And I blame singularly the project managers, the scrum masters, people like me, product owners, for this mess. So your company is expecting कि भाई मैंने $600 billion का मुझे ये plug करना है इस hole को. Engineering teams हथौड़ा मारो. Do more prototypes, do more experiments, and get me my money back. Now, once again, okay, yeah, that's. Forget about the details. Just read the top number. So yesterday I was in an event with Axel. Axel is one of the biggest venture capitalists in India, actually, not in the world. And they did a survey with all the LLM providers like OpenAI, Claude. And they said कि आपके production workload कितना है? And the answer was very, very interesting. So if 100 POCs are done, only 10% are going to a production level, which means that हम लोग सब लोग मिलके experiments कर रहे हैं, but the end payback product is only 10%. So this is a stat where it says that less than 10% of the POCs have progressed to production level load. Now you understand how much inefficiency is there in the system. So now a C-level suit is coming back and said, भाई agile, lean, वो सब ठीक है. 10% ही तुम्हारी POC production तक पहुँच रही है. Something is wrong. या तो आदमी बदलो, या तो आदमी का function बदलो. And that's why you see such a massive rustle where people are saying, अच्छा आप क्या करते हैं? आप agile coach है? अच्छा ठीक है. भाई कितना payback है? P&L खोलो. पैसा कितना कमाया? So don't be afraid of such questions. I was speaking to somebody and they were like कि responsibility लोगे because उनके ऊपर भी हथौड़ा आ रहा है, right? They have now made a $600 billion hole. कहीं से तो उनको भी जवाब देना है कि मैं क्या करूं. So then they are trying to churn and say okay आप project management से हट के normal delivery कीजिए, अपने POCs पे कीजिए. So this is an industry trend which is going on. I'm going to take a small pause. I don't know what is the answer to this, but this has a question which you should ask in your organization कि भाई 10% POCs ही success हो रही हैं और वो भी we don't know कि वो पैसे कमा रहे हैं, at least production पे तो जा रहा है. This is where lean comes in. Apologies. This is where lean comes in. How do you make sure your POCs are short, small, you're not spending enough amount of money on it? If something is not making sense, kill it fast. A lot of people say कि products are like my babies, मैं एकदम अच्छे से उसको treat करूँगा, एकदम passionately काम करूँगा. ये सबसे बड़ा mistake है. You will never kill your baby. जितना भी बदसूरत हो, जितना भी बीमार हो. In products, what you should do is you should be very ruthless. If it is not making money, kill it. जल्दी से निकलो, fail fast as we say, और आके आप next POC करो. Any questions till now? I've blabbered a lot. Is it making sense? What's happening in the industry? Chalo. So there are many, like there's a skill gap. So I have one free advice, like Sanjay giving free advice here. Start learning AI. Okay? It's a big boost. There's a massive shortage in the market of a person who understands Scrum, जो कि वो 10% POC costs को restrict करे और AI. कुछ नहीं है एक are we allowed to speak in Hindi? The Janta understands Hindi sometimes? Okay, I'm sorry, I'll switch back to English. Learn AI. Put it on your resume. And when I say AI, it's not like you go and ruffle into ChatGPT. Take some starting courses. Go and play with the RAG models. Make a chat bot. Make some kind of a script which is helping, developer productivity and all. That particular keyword, if you go into LinkedIn jobs, and I don't know how many are corporate sponsored here, but everybody is always looking for a job. Itna mere ko samajh mein aa gaya. Or else they're like doing a startup. That is the most searched keyword in 2023. Don't trust me, go on to LinkedIn, write the LinkedIn stats job search. AI is the most searched keyword. AI का keyword डालो, genuinely उसको use करो. That will be very, very useful. This I've covered, there's a massive, massive skill gap. ठीक है. This one? Okay. So this is actually justifying this slide, that why are companies struggling to move beyond that 10% POC. So, thank you, you are an angel, sorry. So, beautiful question. I don't know how to do this, but ये जो last वाला है ना, that is the most difficult part in generative AI. Everybody is ready to do a POC. ठीक है? So आपने so let's say that you use SharePoint. ठीक है? You have a bunch of company procedures, guidelines, and documents, unstructured data. You throw it into a large language model, and you can make a chatbot. It is bloody useless. It is just useless. So you will ask it some questions, it will give you some answers, but then it will start hallucinating. It will give an answer apne man se. So what we are seeing in the industry is, and a lot of consultants are to be blamed for this. Sorry, I'm again looking at you, but so what has happened is, these big 4 companies, PCGs of the world, have just gone, and they don't understand the domain. So I'll take an example of the maritime industry with Anupama. Maybe you will understand this more. So a vessel, a cargo ship, it is standing. Sorry, it is on the sea afloat. So when there is a storm or there are waves, it does a pitch and a roll. So the word pitch and roll means something very specific in the shipping industry. Pitch means कि जहाज ऐसे हो रहा है, and roll means कि जहाज ऐसे हो रहा है. ठीक है? Now your AI LLM does not understand that. So it will say what is pitch. God forbid, अगर cricket का pitch का document होगा, it will show cricket pitch. That level of hallucination is happening in LLMs. So the biggest problem is, it's very easy to show a chatbot, very easy to show a POC, but scaling it, sir, to a production level is a massive, massive challenge. So that is one answer. There's also one more problem, sir. There is no data strategy. AI and LLMs, again, works on the principle garbage in, garbage out. Now, if you don't have a data strategy, आपका LLMs नहीं काम करेगा, चाहे जितना अच्छा engineer बिठा लो. So, half of the time, your enterprise data is in different systems. एक बार ERP में है, email में है, SharePoint में है, कोई एक ऐसे गधे, sorry, it is with such a vendor where he's not having any APIs. So, LLM startup क्या करेगा, right? So those were the 2 answers. One is easy to make POCs, and there is no data strategy. Welcome.
But I think
Bolo.
if we have context, data context, and historical data, and quality of data, quantity of data, like all those things we can take care, then probably we can make those solutions more scalable.
So Ankush has 3 points, right? There in the industry we call it at 3 V's: volume, veracity, and value. Volume, ज़्यादा data होना चाहिए, good data होना चाहिए, and it should be valuable for the company. If you can solve 3, which nobody can, by the way.
Exactly.
Nobody can. Okay.
Excuse me.
Sure, please.
So I just wanted to confirm, that the POCs you're talking about is the POCs that we do using Gen AI or AI.
Yes.
Because it's not, 100% things are not being done through AI only. So the 10% out of 100 that is coming out is the POCs being done through AI. So this is kind of a status of an AI currently,
Yes,
right?
this is AI focused.
Okay.
This is AI focused.
Yeah,
So
thank you
not
for
just
the-
Gen AI, anything with
Yeah,
AI.
any AI.
Any AI.
basically.
This is fine. I will take a moment to do some mark. Please go ahead.
Just talking on layman terms, very layman terms. So when you're talking about pitch, so if we teach the POC that the pitch that you're referring to is the ship one and not the cricket one, then it will give you that result, right? So we have to put that data first into the system so that it can give the better results. So in layman terms, what I'm saying is that if you teach it the ship wala thing and not the cricket wala thing, then it will give you that result.
Absolutely correct. So it is harder. Do you agree? Sorry. So what's your name, sir?
Kushagra.
Kushank. So you're absolutely right. So you start off out of the box, you use Microsoft Copilot and it gives shitty answers. So now you have to do two things. One you have to do is give good data and train the model. Now there's a challenge there. Go to OpenAI website and ask ki if I have to train your model on how much money do you require? Okay, any guesses what is the fine-tuned model training costs of OpenAI? Too much, एक number guess करो ना. Just wild. क्या है गलत होगा? Just guess. Fantastic. $500,000 the number is. So it's very costly. But just 24th July it has changed. They are also under pressure, so which changed that also. Now the cost of training is going to be less. But the larger answer to your question is कि it is difficult. POC दिखाना आसान है, production पे ले जाना मुश्किल है. By the way, it is good for me because if it is so a lot of my North European customers say कि we will do this in Microsoft Copilot, and I am waiting for that line for him to say because then I'll open this pitch वाला example and say कि देखो ये होगा Microsoft Copilot के साथ. So it's much harder. Please.
Adding to your point, I think that's why companies are currently making their own platforms so that they can fine tune and they can be customized according to that, and also taking care of some security concerns so that data will not leak out anywhere.
Exactly. Very, very true. I'm done. I'm going to just do some sales and marketing for my company if you don't mind. But Ankush, you are absolutely correct. So we are seeing at least all the big companies going into custom model training. I can't help it, but Puneet sir मेरे को मिल गए. Again, what has happened is in the industry, these consultants have gone and have said हम ना specific model बनाएंगे. We will make one LLM for finance. We will make one LLM for oil and gas. We will make one LLM for maritime. और कौन सी बड़ी industry? We will make one LLM for construction. Pardon my language. I cringe whenever somebody says me. It is bullshit. People don't even understand what is model training. 75% of the problems can be done without model training. Please understand why is LLMs and generative AI so important in the world. Pehle, if you have some ML background, you needed a lot of labeled data, then you would do a lot of training. But LLMs is pre-trained. They have 405 billion parameters. The latest Llama index is 405 billion parameters. So it does not require training. मतलब उसकी जो power है उसी को हम खत्म कर रहे हैं. So of course there are use cases. I'm over generalizing this. There are use cases where you have to do some model training, but out of the box it is very powerful. The whole adoption barrier of using ML and pre-trained models has gone drastically down. You don't need a data scientist anymore. आज के पहले data scientist कितना पैसा कमा रहे थे? Trust me, in the next 10 years, that role will be redundant because AI is just pre-trained out of the box. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I sometimes joke, if she becomes an electrician, plumber, those हाथ-पाँव वाला jobs, the chances are that they will earn more than software engineers. This is going to really flip. By the way, NVIDIA ka boss says this, not just me. Sure.
I just have one small question. You talked about very nice thing, garbage in, garbage out. And you also talked about, models, they don't need training. I absolutely agree to you. But do you think all these problems can be at least solved to the level of 70-80% with proper prompt engineering? Because what we ask the LLM is what we get. And trust me, I've tried more than 10 different models,
It's not me.
10 different models where just by changing the prompt, the results get drastically changed. For example, we were talking about pitch. Now, if I am not confident of what pitch is, I will ask an LLM, tell me what is pitch. And the LLM is as good as a human being. If I ask you what is pitch, either you will ask me a question in what context, or immediately if you're a cricket lover, you will say it is a 22 yard.
True.
Right? If I am smart enough and I ask the right question, which is called prompt, that what is pitch in context of shipping,
Exactly.
do you think it will still give me a wrong answer? No.
It will give you a much better answer.
Right?
Much
so,
better
so
answer.
what I believe, because I've been doing a lot of research on prompt engineering, although it's not, the people love to call it prompt engineering, but there's no engineering in it. It's just common sense.
It is art.
So it's common sense, which is uncommon in us. So if we do that, I believe all these models can be, the free versions of all the LLMs can be used very nicely.
Completely agree to Sir's point. Key prompt engineering is very, very important. I'll just say one more thing. Prompt engineering and the right data.
Absolutely.
It needs to have access to the maritime data. So that is, and take his lead, start doing prompt engineering. I know you don't want to call it engineering, but that's like a very good first step. If you're like zero in AI, try.
Because there was a time when, this free version 3.5 of ChatGPT, okay, I gave it a prompt, and that prompt was almost 12 lines long prompt. And trust me, it took at least 15 minutes to generate the first result. It was blinking, and I thought my browser hang ho gaya kya? After 15 minutes it generated. So that is also probably something that it has now got used to it, and it has got added to its database. Now somebody, because I was asking it to write a business case.
Sure.
So.
Okay, very quickly, last 1 minute. I am a startup founder, so I am always selling, pardon me. I'll be grateful if you follow our LinkedIn page, but Navirego is a regulatory AI co-pilot, which is trying to reduce the burden of compliance and your unnecessary documentation for safety critical industries like oil and gas, maritime, construction, and pharma. Why we chose this problem? There is a lot of unstructured data. All regulations are basically PDF files. Just in maritime, there are more than 100,000 regulations, PDF files. So we are trying to solve that problem. If you want to know more details about Navirego, follow our LinkedIn page. It also boosts my SEO ranking, so vested interest. But we have early traction. We have paying customers. We work with some of the largest North European carriers in the world. Big vessels which are taking cars from Northeast Europe to UK, Belfast, Ireland. They are our customers. We also work with 2 of the largest ship designers in the world. We have a strong tie-up with one of the largest ship designers in India, which is Vedam, and Rementova from Northeast Europe. We are always looking for people. We are a 16-member team, but this is the core team. We are spread across 3 countries, India, UK, and Poland. The data science guy sits out of UK, and the commercial operations are headed in Poland. We are always, of course, always looking for people. So, do follow our LinkedIn page. I will end up with a small teaser video, and then I'll shut up and go. Am I doing good on time? Okay. Just a very short clip on what Navirego does.
Today's fast-paced industries, administrative tasks often divert teams from critical activities, leading to losses and reduced safety. Searching through emails, documents, and ERP systems wastes time and causes missed deadlines. Complicated reports create confusion and errors. Valuable data goes unexplored, missing opportunities for insights and improvements. There's a better way. Focus on what matters with Navirego. Our generative AI solutions eliminate administrative overload, empowering your team to work smarter, better, faster, and safer. Imagine a worker needing immediate, accurate information on a safety issue. Navirego retrieves precise data from extensive knowledge bases or your company's database, providing comprehensive insights supported by detailed citations and access to original documents. Navirego ensures streamlined access to critical protocols, procedures, and manuals, facilitating seamless knowledge sharing across departments. We enable efficient data analysis, document management, and compliance verification, minimizing errors and enhancing workflows. Our easy-to-use web app seamlessly connects with your existing tools, putting all your data in one place. With Navirego, your organization gains a powerful ally for smarter, faster, and safer decision-making. Empower your team for maximum impact. Discover how Navirego can transform your workplace. Book a demo today.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Sanjay sir. Back to you. बोलो ना सर. So the question is, what module or custom model we are using? There are three. The extraction of the information is a Navirego proprietary model. Okay. How do we divide that module into smaller chunks is a Navirego custom model. But the last part, where I'm summarizing and generating that answer, that we are using ChatGPT off the shelf for OB. Got it.
Thank you.
Before you go, if I can invite Dinesh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek. It felt like morning coffee to me. Thank you. All right, we start the next session in about 5 minutes. We'll do a quick check if Meetu's system is working, and then we'll just kickstart by 10:40.